Howdy there, Jupiter in the 8th here, and today I want to talk about simply the fact, just simply that amongst all of us more conscious people, or at least people who are trying to be conscious and trying to find the truth and trying to see reality for what it is, one thing that we have to do, and it's from multiple, I'm going to come at this from multiple angles. And before I say this, I'm gonna preface this because this is dangerous for me to really be saying this for my own self personally. So um, it's it's for the long term. Okay, I'm not advocating that you break the law. I'm not advocating that it's gonna be riding right along that line though. It's not even breaking the law. It's what I'm going to suggest. It kind of, how do I word this? It goes against. You'll be doing something you should be doing anyway. I mean, you'll see that when I explain it. But you're essentially going to be pulling resources and money back towards yourself and towards your home and your local area and your state, rather than the federal government. Okay, and this and you have the right to do that. I mean, that's not illegal, but at the same time, that's dangerous for me to even be saying it because, well, you start taking money from people, and not taking money. It's not even we're not even taking. What I'm going to suggest is that you stop giving. You start approaching things in such a way that you are taking care of yourself and your family and your friends and your local area, which should be the model. And I can't stress enough that this is going to be the model anyway moving forward, right? For all of you who are in the know, we're moving into the Aquarian age, right? We are going to become more conscious. It's just a matter of whether or not you are on board or not. The energy is shifting. The energy is changing. The more you're not going to be able to fight it. Okay, for those of you who want to fight it, you're not going to be able to. And it's not. I mean, maybe it won't be me who's the catalyst for you or for whatever, but there's too many what you might call Messiah seeds or enlightened people, and I'm not fully enlightened. I'm only hopefully on my path to getting there. I'm leaps and bounds more conscious than I was, years ago. I've gone through a profound shift and a profound change, and that's not bragging. It was extremely painful. It's not something I wish upon other people, but now that I'm here, I'm glad I'm here. So it's one of those things that you're like, it was a painful journey, but now I'm here and now I have something to say. Okay. But this is really what you should be doing anyway, eating healthy. And by eating healthy, I mean you need to start growing your own food, or you need to start. There's other smaller measures I'm going to introduce that, and other things that don't even involve food that I'll talk about that involve helping your local area. That by itself, okay, bartering, or if you're gonna spend money, spend it with local merchants, right? Especially during Christmas time, right? You're gonna be spending extra money. Don't just go to the big box stores. Go to your local, make an effort. Guess what? You're going to find unique gifts, rather than giving gifts that people see in the store. Now, granted, you may have a kid or something that wants something specific. Okay, go get him that, whatever. I'm not rigid, you know what I'm saying? You got to keep things in balance. Yeah, okay, if someone wants something specific or you have a great idea for a gift, something very thoughtful, go ahead and do that. But keep your money local, right? Keep it so it's going to be continuously funneling back into your economy, not going off to someone who's going to store it, or they're just collecting money and then just using it to get more money and more money and more money, right? Excuse me while I sit down. I apologize for the angle here, but I'm trying to use the sunlight here. So what I'm going to recommend though is something extremely rebellious, and it doesn't seem rebellious, but it is. Growing your own food, beginning to move in that direction. I'm not saying you need to do it. You need to do this year, like it needs to be 100%, and you need to get a solar panel. And no, you don't need to go the whole 9 yard, or you don't need to go the entire whatever whatever the expression is. You don't need to do it all at once. You need to do it gradually. That's the only way you can integrate these things into your life. Maybe some of you are in a position to go to the extreme, or maybe some of you are already working along these lines. But and you have to start asking some questions. And I'm not. See, this is going to really upset some people who are on the. If you have a polarized view, right, and you subscribe to certain belief systems that you've been taught, whether it's on the left side, the liberal left, or the, neoconservative, religious, right, whatever, just, you're not going to like this, okay? But the fact of the matter is taxing people 30% of their, income, people at the bottom or even the middle, is absolutely insane and doesn't benefit anybody. I mean, it benefits certain people, or it benefits the government institutions and agencies. Yeah, in the short term, but we need to become conscious. See, what I'm proposing isn't meant to harm, agencies and programs. I mean, in the short term, it might do some damage, and I do not advocate any extremities. I think that we need to wean. I don't think we should just take money away. I mean, in my heart, sometimes I think, man, we just need to cut these people off. And maybe that's the approach. I don't know. But I think, we need to gradually move towards things. You don't want to be extremes. You don't want to be flying all over the radar and the map. And I apologize if I'm all over the place, because there's a lot of connections and things I don't want to say. But just think for a second, why, for example, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but there's been some billions of dollars that have gone into a space program here in the United States, and I remain objective, and I remain open to influence of to seeing evidence, but I've seen a lot of things that were seriously put into question whether or not the moon landings were real, whether or not there are even satellites in the sky. And now it's getting to the point where, I want to conduct some experiments of my own and find out, I don't want to trust other people's videos on YouTube and such things, because all this could be a sham. That itself could be a sham. The conspiracy theorists, there could be people putting out information, just they think it's funny, that to trick people. I don't know. But there is solid evidence that it seems to me that the world is not the way we think it is, and that we've been lied to since we were children. And it's okay, but we need to move on, and it's time to let go. But see, the thing about all this stuff and all these questions, and I'm going to flat out say that there's a theory out there that the Earth is flat or that it's not round. I don't know, but I will say that I've been watching some of the experiments that people have been doing online, and straight up, like, it seems like there is something to it. I'm just gonna say that. What else can I say? They're conducting experiments, doing the math. If the Earth is curved, yada yada. A balloon in the distance should be, whatever, or this laser that's right on the level of the water, shot across the water at miles. There should be so much of a curve in between. This laser should not reach the other side. We should not be able to see the cameras at this level, the lasers at this level. We're shooting across water, right? So it's not land, so it's not going to be, the laser shouldn't, right? You see what I'm saying? But again, these are not my experiments. I digress. Like, you do your own research. I'm not gonna make any statements, but the implications of some of this stuff, and it's not just a flat Earth or a round Earth, whatever, or concave Earth. There's all sorts of, there's an inner Earth theory. There's all sorts of theories. But it seems like we're being lied to, or that they're withholding information. But if it also, and there's also evidence, it seems, that we haven't really gone to space, or that space isn't what it seems. And that really puts into question, why are we spending all this money? Why is my energy right? Money is just trapped energy. Why is my time, energy, and effort here on earth being taken from me, at a certain rate to be used for these programs? And given the debt we're in, I don't even think any of this is. You don't even need the conspiracies. You don't even need the lie. Let's pretend there are no conspiracies, no lies. Forget. Why are we spending that money on space when we have such a massive debt? It doesn't make sense. We need to pay off our debts. We need to balance things out. We need to stop letting the vampires, and I'm just using a metaphor, but stop letting them suck you dry. And to be objective, I don't know whether or not there truly are these people are that horrible. There is a slight chance that they actually are sort of kind-hearted, and they're just trying to keep things from blowing up. I mean, I entertain all possibilities, so I'm not out here pointing the finger and saying, look at these evil people. I mean, I think that I'm leaning towards the fact that there are some very deceptive people out there, and that's my conviction, but I entertain all possibilities. I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but I think there's just some simple thinking behind this. So a lot of these videos like this, the one I'm making now, right? And I've gone through all the conspiracies. I've gone through the deep, dark time of my life where these things send you kind of reeling off, and you're thinking about it during your work day, and it's kind of like, and you want to talk to people about it, because obviously you want consciousness to spread, right? If you think you have the truth, whether or not you do or not, you think you have the truth, you want to spread it, right? I think that's an ingrained part of our human nature, is that we care about other people. We want to be conscious. We want the truth. But what I'm going to recommend is what you actually can do. I'm gonna take you to the end, or at least what I perceive to be the end of my rabbit hole for now, the rabbit hole that I've gone down, and what you can do positively for your own life. And what we all should have been doing anyway, okay, is it's not. I'm gonna say it's growing your own food, but there are methods beyond that. Okay, so yes, growing your own food. Start next. If it's not. I think if it's in the northern heaven, I only know where I'm at. The seasons in the northern hemisphere for where I'm at. If it's past July 15th, or really past August, there's not really much else you can plant. So, and I mean, you could start. There's things you can grow indoors. You can grow and start by growing herbs in your window, or and just find the pleasure in that. Find there is a reward that you just don't understand, like, until you experience it. It's great when you can make pasta. And I literally just walk out onto my balcony and just take fresh herbs and chop them up. I mean, right from the plant. It actually just makes sense. And forgetting all the conspiracies and all the things outside it, you don't even need all that crap. You just need it. Like, there's more nutrients when you can just pull it from your own garden. Okay, but there are other ways of approaching this. I recommend just start next year. You want to be thinking about this around March. Okay, January. You might start thinking about this around February. Start making plans. Save some of your money over the winter. Okay. And then you want to start planting. And then as things start coming to fruit, now you don't even need to plant everything yourself. There's other things you can do that are gonna one is gonna ensure that you have delicious fresh food all year round through the winter, through all planting seasons. You can have, and it's gonna save you money. Yes, it takes a little bit of an upfront investment, but this is a security thing, and this is how people survived. Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about canning and jarring. You should forget planting for now, okay? You should be canning and jarring. I recommend you do it with organic and local food, but that's not necessary, okay? The best approach, which will save you a ton of money, I'm gonna show you something. I gotta go grab something real quick. Hold on. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to show you two things. Okay? Sorry. I'm going to show you two things. Okay? One, well, the main thing I wanted to show you in regards to canning. Okay, so I got this bag. I can't really show you it, but this was full of 7 pounds of blueberries. It cost me $10. 7 pounds for $10. Now, they technically are organic, but I went and picked them myself. See, this is the thing, is you would have to know what's coming to fruit, right? But when I did the math, I forgot what the math exactly was, but let me put it this way. $10 in about an hour of my time for what would cost me in the store, it was about $140. I forgot the math exactly, because one of those quarts generally costs, depending on the time of year, costs between $5 and $7. So there's what, 28 quarts, or was 28 quarts in here. Okay, so 28 times 5, 20, or 28 times 7 to give you that range of, so it was like 140, whatever. But $10 versus that, and they're fresh, they're local, right? They're not coming from far away. And I'm going to store them, freeze them. I'm going to make jelly. I'm going to do all sorts of delicious things with them. Make pie filling, right? Everyone should have someone in their family or in their neighborhood or whatever that's doing this for you. Maybe you could even pay someone to do it, depending on your situation, right? Do you see where I'm coming from? All the benefits. Ground floor, you have security. You have food in your pantry. No matter what happens, even if this money system goes to shit, you got food. And I'm not all about dwelling on that. No one wants to dwell on the negative, and some people do. But if you have that sense of insecurity, this is the action you can take. But the action you can take is not just about survival. That's good. But you have delicious food, nutrients for you and your family, healthy. Okay, so go out and get the organic stuff. Go out and get the good stuff. It takes a little bit of effort, but guess what? There's joy in it. It's peaceful. You go out and pick those blueberries. You're out in the sun with other people who are like-minded and who are peaceful. Not the kind of people who are out trying to, to get one up on everyone else in like a social or business context. Okay, I'm gonna show you another thing. Okay, I got this at the store. It was on sale. It was half off. It was $7.99. It was half off. I was in a completely different area where there's more food and more people, so they're able to use that scale, that size, to provide such benefits. Right? They can buy this stuff in bulk. Now, it's July 2015 right now. This could literally stay on the shelf, not even refrigerated, as long as you don't open it, best before March 10th, 2018. Okay, so granted, it's probably pasteurized or whatever, unfiltered and pasteurized. But the point is, they used good organic apples to make it. And now, again, it provides me with security, knowing I have food stuff. I bought a bunch of these. I'm gonna buy some more next week when I go out there again, because it's an incredible deal. But now, so I paid $7.99 for this size of a jug, and normally I pay more at my local place. It's a smaller place. They simply don't have the scale or the size or the ability to keep such a large inventory, and they also don't have the demand. Unfortunately, there's not enough people eating organic to be, for them to be able to provide that benefit. Okay, so but normally I pay, I think it was 12 or 15 for something I think half the size. 12 or 15 when I paid $8 for this. So you have to keep your eye out. You have to pay attention to the seasons. Okay. But I know I'm all over the map, but I'm trying to help you make connections that are not already there in your brain. I'm trying to help you see the reality of the world, which is a very it can be a very traumatic thing to even examine these things, and I understand that, and I've gone through that pain. But I want to jump you immediately through the rabbit hole, all the way to the other end, into the positive actions and conclusions that you'll come to. And there is a sort of an urgency, I feel, and this is just my opinion, okay? There is a bit of an urgency to the situation. A lot of things seem to be coming to fruition. A lot of people are out, a lot of people are out stating, I know for a fact that this is going to happen and the world's going to, whatever, it's the apocalypse or whatever. I'm not, you don't know that. Like, unless you're the person bringing the apocalypse, you don't know that there's an apocalypse. Unless you see and experience something for yourself, you don't know for sure. People who pretend to know for sure when they don't, you should not be listening to these people. I mean, if you can listen to them and remain objective, and you've already, whatever. If you've become objective, then you can come back and start, tapping into people, because then you can filter things out. But until that point, you should be listening. And don't just listen to me. There are other really great teachers and spiritual people out there. You got to be objective. But yeah, I believe that there are a lot of things coming to fruition to the point where, there may be a disruption in our systems. I think that should have been a reality that we should have been considering all along. We should, and again, this viewpoint doesn't involve conspiracy at all. It's just an honest to God natural truth that there's gonna be disruptions. That how can you honestly expect our systems to be maintained when we're so dependent upon other things? Okay, we're dependent. We don't know what's gonna happen with the oil situation. We don't know that some wolf out there that has a ton of control and influence isn't going to mess with the system, and then it's going to affect you who's way down the line, right? With all of this stuff, that doesn't matter anymore. You want to talk about homeland security? This is home security. This is personal, family, local security for you, your area. And the more people in your area that are doing this, guess what? When one of these, if something happens and there's a problem or shortage of food or gas prices, guess what? You're going to be like, that sucks. I've got seeds. I've got, I'll have to, maybe there's some things you have to acquire. Maybe you can get soil. I've got food in my pantry that lasts, I can last up to a year. I can thrive for a year. And you were saving money doing it, right? By giving up the conveniences of this world, by giving up the dependencies of this world, you're thriving. You should have been doing this anyway. You don't need a conspiracy or anything else to point you toward this. You should have been doing it for your own health. We should have never moved away from this. Okay? Yeah. So this is the method for, some people talk about getting out of the matrix. This is getting out of the matrix. I mean, not on the level of like the movie The Matrix, but as far as the current system, this is how I'm just gonna say it, and I hope this doesn't come back on me, but this is how you get out. This is how you stop feeding the monster. We should blame ourselves. Not only are we not taking care of ourselves, but we're feeding the monster. We're encouraging it. We have to start taking responsibility for our role, right? As entire culture or community or world or whatever, we're feeding it. Stop feeding it. Keep your money in, keep your money local. But see, okay, and this is why I'm about to launch something, and I'm not going to go into detail, that is going to help take care of my area, because there's actually a hunger problem, not just a nutrient hunger, which is a problem everywhere. Okay, but I'm talking about, I live in one of the wealthiest places. You probably don't even know about it, but it's one of the wealthiest places in the United States. And many people here don't even realize that's true. But simultaneously, 1 out of 4 people are hungry. All right, there's a hunger problem here. So there's a big gap. So I'm personally launching something that's going to, one, bring awareness to that, and two, actually help to begin resolving the problem, and hopefully over the course of 10 years is going to resolve the problem. I'm going to do it in such a way that yes, we need money. We need currency. I'm not saying we don't need currency. We need currency. Yeah, but don't be so dependent upon it. You know, there is a somewhat of a truth that there's money is the root of evil. I mean, it's that statement is extreme in and of itself. There is a degree of truth to it, in the sense that you think about money. If you, after this video is over the next week, I hope you catch yourself thinking about money and you stop and you say, why am I defining everything in terms of money? Right? Why am I defining everything in terms of something that can be taken away from me? This can't, I mean, well, it can be taken away from you, but this, you grow your own food, you go pick and jar and can, hypothetically, as long as no one invades your home or does anything stupid to you, illegal to you, no one's gonna take that away from you. No one's gonna take that away from your family. But they can take away the value of money. They can slowly degrade money. They can mess with the markets, to mess with the money you've saved, mess with the money you've invested in the market. They can take all that away from you, and they've done it. And they're still doing it. They're doing it every day. They're doing it in big ways. They're doing it in small ways. Why play their game unless you know how to win it? But I would argue that if you spent enough time learning how to play that game, that you yourself are going to become somewhat of a monster yourself. I know, because I used to be into the markets. I used to be into, my father's he's a CPA. Right? I was raised learning this stuff. I was doing CPA, balancing books at like the age of like 15 or something like that. I know. I understand money. But that's what led me to these conclusions, is having the deeper understanding of money. Okay? People are financing things. People finance educations like they intend to follow through with it, but we all know that most people don't. Right? Why are you just throwing yourself into slavery? It's a different form of slavery. It's a lesser form of slavery. Yes, technically you are free to move around and operate, and that's good. So use it. Use that freedom. Can your food, grow some food, have a backup. And you don't even need to go to the 100%. You just need to develop your skills and knowledge to the point where, and have enough materials and resources, so if the situation arises, you'll be able to say, lock the doors. You know what I'm saying? Lock the doors. You don't want, if people are going hungry, they're going to be knocking on, they're going to be breaking down doors. I mean, it could get to that level. There's all sorts of levels that this could go to. It could be a 3-day thing like it was with the blackouts. It could be a month long, year long. It could be a permanent thing. Even when the situation, if it ever occurs, you won't even know initially how long it's going to last. But you know what? Everyone else is going to be freaking out. And you'll be able to help. You may have seeds stored away. You say to your neighbors, your local neighbors, hey, listen, okay, so it looks like this can be permanent, or we don't know when things are going to get back to normal. I've got seeds. I've got some soil. We need to acquire these materials. You'll be in charge. I mean, if that appeals to you, but you'll be leading the way. I mean, that's not the reason to do it, but you'll be the person who'll be able to say, look, we're going to be okay, but we need to take care of us. And we need to kind of block out what's going on outside, because people are going to be fighting over shit. So I mean, it's not even about locking yourself into your own home. Like, if you have enough abundance and you have enough money set aside, you should store up some stuff. You should store up some hydroponic growing equipment, some lights. You should invest in some solar panels if you have that money set aside. If not, there's again, start at the ground floor. And I apologize if I'm repeating myself, but um, you have to really ask yourself, when you think about all the effort you go through for whatever you do to make money, okay? And then you think about the fact that whatever percentage is being cut out away from you. And you think about if you're an employer, you have to pay double tax. You have to pay double taxes on behalf of your employees. Not only do you pay, so if you're an employee, I hope you realize this. Okay, and again, this falls into the conservative side, but I am all over them. I take all perspectives. Okay, I'm objective. I try my best to be objective. Okay, if you're an employee, I hope you know that when your employer gives you that check and then you look at it and you say, what the crap? What's the, oh yeah, I earned this much, with this much this much is going away. Guess what? Your employer has to pay that again, double. So not only do they give you your money, and then most employers automatically shoot a percentage to where it needs to go automatically. Take that 30% or whatever amount that you're paying. They're paying it again. Think about that for a second. You want to talk about sending. If you wanted us all to succeed, you would remove that. The government would remove that. If you wanted, someone with some value to offer to the world to be able to even get started, to launch just a website or start a retail store so that they can sell something or teach something or whatever it is of value they have to offer the world. If they really wanted us to thrive, they get rid of that double taxation. It's and again, I'm all over the map here, but because there's so much that's bullshit. They're not looking out for us. And again, we need to take responsibility. We can't just point the finger. We need to take responsibility, man. So grow your own food. At least move in that direction, because it's a bit of an extreme thing. Because the government can't. I'm sorry. I want to finish the argument I was making. Let me back up. I was trying to make the argument that when you look at what you do for a living, what you do to earn a certain amount of money, some of you have to drive and you've stress, on the freeway or whatever, being away, from your kids. I'm not saying quit your job. I'm trying to just make a comparison so you can see, to illustrate something for you, okay? And you consider all of those things, and then you're depending on all of that, and you're depending on all of it not to crash on you, and they're taking away 30%. Does it make sense not to do this? Does it make sense not to grow your own food and take care of yourself and take care of your own family and be prepared for a situation? Not only be prepared, but again, to thrive anyway, regardless of system crash or no, right? Where else are you investing your time that, including your job? I'm just trying to make what you're maybe you love your job, and if that's the case, you're blessed. Okay, awesome. But most people don't like sitting, and you're sitting at a desk. So many people, right? Being treated poorly, sexual harassment, all the things. I'm not saying quit your job. I'm just saying when you consider all the things that involve you going. Why do you go out to make money? The primary reason, and you can say all the reasons you want. I know a lot of you guys make for my kids, and so they can get a good education. Guess what? In 10 years, and actually right now, you can get an education right here. I'm not saying don't put your kids in school. I'm not saying homeschool your kids. I'm saying if you needed to, and it's very possible that it's actually a better option in terms of actual education, in terms of actual learning, right? Let's talk about that for a second. Now, I'll get right back to where, I'm going off on a tangent, but I know kids that unless you're the popular kid, school kind of can often suck for a large chunk of kids. Unless you're respected or popular, there's a social structure. There's cliques. Kids pick on each other. They're vicious. They're animals, and we put them in that environment. Why do we do that? It makes no sense. Yes, there needs to be socialization, but I'm not even going to get into. I don't even. This video is not even about what would be an ideal model. I'm saying the model we have needs to change. It needs to evolve. Let's go. Time to change. I mean, there was a reason the model came to where it is now. Let's keep it changing. It has stagnated. It's too ingrained. I'm not even. I don't even want to get into that because it's a whole conversation within and of itself. But when you think about all these things, I want to talk about school because again, I'm still talking about is what you do, thinking about why you do what you do to earn money, right? Ultimately, it's to feed yourself because if you don't have food, you're gonna die. Okay, that is why that is the primary reason you earn money. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. The primary reason is to get food into your belly, into your family's bellies. Without that, everything else is bullshit. So if that's the case, start thinking in terms of priority. Start prioritizing where you spend your time and where you invest it. All right. This has gone on for too long, 36 minutes. So I hope this was helpful. Start canning and jarring. Move towards. Believe it or not, I truly believe this is the way to wealth, and I'm not both in terms of having finances and just what I believe real wealth is. Real wealth is the result of the reason we all want. A lot of us want to make a lot of money, right? Is that we want to be able to do what we want to do. We want to be free. We want to have friends. We want to have fun. We want to have great food and health. We want to just thrive. We want to be happy, and we want to die well. We don't want to be like withering and in pain, right? We want to live well. We want to die well. We want to be free. We want all that. So come on, let's go get it.